Hey everyone, welcome back on Chemical Serendipity. So we were doing the topic which is very important for the various entrance exams like CSIR, NET or GATE or TIFR or BARC or your IIT JAM, right? So for all these entrance exams, your Jahn-Teller distortion that we were doing, it is very important, right? And we had already completed the concept portion, that is the basic introduction about the JTD, and then if a complex is given to you, then how you can find out that whether a distortion is going to happen in that particular complex or not. And then we had done the consequences, like okay, if your distortion is happening in a particular complex, then how it is going to alter the various properties of that complex, how it is going to alter the thermodynamic and your kinetic stability of that particular complex, right? And we had done that how to find out that the particular distortion is of what kind, right? Whether it is elongation or compression. So we had studied that, yeah, like it is not that for all the complexes you can say that by looking at the complex, because it is obviously it is not possible. But yes, you can use some approaches in some of the cases to find out whether it is elongation or compression. So all of these things are already done. Today's lecture will be based on that what kind of question are being asked on this particular topic, right? So let's get started with the previous year questions on your Jahn-Teller distortion. So let's start with the simplest one. So the question was asked in GATE 2000 and the question was very simple. The question is the compound which exhibit Jahn-Teller distortion is, and the four options were given to you, right? So you know that like there can be a problem in finding out that whether the the distortion is elongation or compression, but there will be no problem to find out that whether a complex is exhibiting a distortion or not, right? That we have already done for all the configurations. So the only thing that you need to find is that you should know the type of the complex and you should know the DN we can say configuration of your complex, right? So let's do that. So this is the first option, right? So you know that you will find out the oxidation state. This is your neutral ligand, so it will be your manganese +2, right? So what will be the valence configuration? It will be D5, right? 3D5 4S0, right? And you know that the type of complex in +2 oxidation state with water is going to be the high spin complex. And we have already done that what kind of your configurations are showing your distortion or not. So how you will find out from this? So this is high spin, so you know that this is your high spin octahedral complex. So the 5 electron will be 1 2 3 4 5. So EG is happy, T2G is happy, there will be no distortion, isn't it? This is how we have done for all the configuration, and for these question you will be able to solve it faster if you have already in your mind that okay fine, for D4 high spin, for your D7 low spin and for D9 there will be strong distortion, right? That we have already done. And strong distortion means there is a unsymmetry in your EG level, okay? And we have already discussed the reason that why in this case it is strong distortion, okay? So this is not the answer. Next is your manganese H2O6 +3. So this will be +3. That means this will be nothing but your 3D4 4S0. So D4 is there and +3 H2O6, it is going to be your high spin complex. Yes, there is a distortion, there is a strong distortion, but you have to check for the other two, okay? So chromium +3, what will be chromium +3? It will be 3D3 4S0. No, there is no distortion. All right, okay. Then we are going to have the FeCN6 4-, and this is nothing but your okay, Fe +2. You know that how to find out the oxidation state, right? This will be -1, so this is going to be Fe +2. What is Fe +2? 3D6 4S0, and this is going to be your low spin, right? Because Cn is there. Again, there will be no distortion. So the answer is B. So the only thing that you need to do is find out the valence configuration, and then you should know that the type of complex is high spin or low spin, because you know that if it is high spin or low spin, the arranging of those electron in the orbital is going to change. You know that we have done that, no, example of your bus and train, right? So you know that. So that you need to do for this kind of question. So let's do other question. So this is the second question. Again, a very simple question on Jahn-Teller distortion in GATE 2004. The question is, for the complex ion, this is the complex ion, the coordination geometry will be, the options are octahedral, tetragonally distorted octahedral, trigonal prismatic, trigonal antiprismatic. Okay. So how you're going to find out? So the coordination number is 6. All right, all of these can be possible, right? But you know that, like, ऐसे तो नहीं देगा ना आपको कोई कि आप हाँ याद करो कि एक पर्टिकुलर कॉम्प्लेक्स का ज्योमेट्री टेट्रागोनल एंटीप्रिज्मेटिक, ऐसे तो क्वेश्चन नहीं देगा, है ना, क्रैमिंग बेस्ड क्वेश्चन. सो वो ऐसे पूछ रहा है आपसे इस चीज़ को, क्योंकि ये मोस्टली कॉपर के कॉम्प्लेक्सेस आपको पता है ये ऑक्टाहेड्रल होना चाहिए, यू नो दैट ऑक्टाहेड्रल हो सकता है, but maybe there is a distortion, so that is why the question came. All right, so you just need to find out whether the distortion is there or not. So how you're going to find out? So this is nothing but your copper plus 2. Copper plus 2 means 3d9 4s0. Yes, there is a strong distortion in this case, right? There is a strong distortion, and you know that in these kind of complexes the distortion is also, you know that we have already discussed, the type of the distortion will be the elongation, means the bond along the z-axis will be elongated comparison to the bonds present in the xy plane. All right, so that means yes, there is a distortion. So what will be the correct answer? The tetragonally distorted octahedral is the correct answer, right? So this was very simple. Alright, so next question is from GATE 2006. Again, the question is very simple, and again the type of the question is also same, that in what which of the following set is expected to show the Jahn-Teller distortion. Alright, so let's do that. So in the A option, so how you're going to find it? So of course you have to see for the each and every configuration, but you have to you know, keep in mind that what are the geometries which doesn't show any Jahn-Teller distortion. So this thing we have already discussed in the previous lectures, that your D3 configuration, your D5 high spin, your D6 low spin, D8, D10, these configurations do not show any Jahn-Teller distortion, right? Because there is a symmetrical distribution in both EG orbital and your T2G orbitals. Titanium 3 configuration क्या हो गई? 3D1, yes होगा distortion, ठीक है, T2G unsymmetrically filled होगा. Copper 2 क्या हो गया भाई? D9, yes होगा, strong distortion होगा. हाई स्पिन Fe3 तो क्या हो गया? 3D5, लेकिन हाई स्पिन में नहीं होगा, अभी देखा था हमने, तो ये तो हो गया क्रॉस. नेक्स्ट देखोगे कॉपर 1, आपकी एक्सेप्शन है, राइट, कॉन्फ़िगरेशन D10 याद करेंगे. सो दिस इज 3D10 4s0. कॉपर 1 नहीं होगा डिस्टॉर्शन, आगे देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. कॉपर 2 D9, यस स्ट्रॉन्ग डिस्टॉर्शन है. लो स्पिन Fe3 कितना हो गया? D5. लो स्पिन में T2G अनसिमेट्रिकली फिल्ड होगा, मतलब ये भी होगा. टाइटेनियम 3 मतलब पहले किया D1, यस ये भी है, तो ये तो भाई करेक्ट है, बट फिर भी लास्ट देख लेंगे. लो स्पिन Fe3, यस होगा, अभी क्या था? Mn5 क्या हो गया? D5. अब उसने दिया नहीं लो स्पिन या हाई स्पिन, क्योंकि लो स्पिन होता तो ये आपका देता डिस्टॉर्शन, राइट. बट लेट्स सी नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल. कॉपर 1 इज 3D10 नहीं देगा, तो ये भी क्या हो जाएगा? क्रॉस. सो व्हाट इज द करेक्ट आंसर? सी इज योर करेक्ट आंसर. देखो गेट 2009 में आया है, बट ध्यान से देखोगे तो ये क्वेश्चन गेट 2004 में भी यही था, बस स्टेटमेंट चेंज था. जैसे द करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट अबाउट कॉपर नाइट्रोजन बॉन्ड इन दिस कॉम्प्लेक्स, तो कॉम्प्लेक्स दे दिया और उसने बोला कि कॉपर नाइट्रोजन बॉन्ड के बारे में कमेंट करो. तो क्या ऑप्शंस है? ऑल बॉन्ड्स आर इक्वल, एक्सियल आर लार्जर लॉन्गर देन योर इक्वेटोरियल आर लॉन्गर देन एक्सियल, और ऑल बॉन्ड्स आर अनइक्वल. तो बस आपको पता चल ही गया होगा उसने क्या पूछने की कोशिश करी है. उसने पूछने की कोशिश करी कि क्या इसमें डिस्टॉर्शन है. अगर नहीं हुई तो सारे बॉन्ड क्या होंगे, इक्वल। लेकिन अगर है तो किस तरह के डिस्टॉर्शन है वो भी पूछ रहा है, क्योंकि इलोंगेशन होगी तो एक्सियल बॉन्ड लॉन्गर होंगे, अगर कंप्रेशन होगी तो आपके इक्वेटोरियल बॉन्ड जो हैं वो क्या होंगे, लॉन्गर होंगे, राइट। सो दिस इज व्हाट द क्वेश्चन इज ऑल अबाउट. So I have already given you the answer. So copper plus 2 is nothing but your 3D9 system, and for these type of complexes we have discussed in the previous lecture, and where we have discussed an exception, right? And but this question is pretty much simpler. In 3D9 you know that there will be elongation, and you know the cause of elongation, why elongation is happening, you already know all these things. So yes, the elongation is there for sure. We have done that in the previous lecture. So the answer will be that the axial bond are longer than the equatorial bond. Correct? इस CSIR में कैसे क्वेश्चन आते हैं, तो देखो एक जैसे क्वेश्चन है, बहुत डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, बहुत ही ईजी है. फॉर द complexes are given to you. This is the first, B, C, and this is your D. Okay. And you need to tell that the ideal octahedral geometry will not observed in. That means what? कि किन complexes में आपकी distortion है, उसी में ही ideal octahedral नहीं होगी ना, तो वो आपको यहाँ पे बताना है. तो आपको पता है ये कैसे करना है, ऐसे क्वेश्चन हमने अभी तक सॉल्व किए. तो निकल H2 6+2 पता है क्या होगा, 3D8, मतलब डिस्टॉर्शन इसमें तो नहीं है, मतलब इसकी आइडियल ऑक्टाहेड्रल ज्योमेट्री होगी. मीन्स सारे बॉन्ड एंगल्स क्या बॉन्ड डिस्टेंसेस क्या होंगे, उनकी लेंथ क्या होगी, सेम होगी. बी देखेंगे, मैंगनीज +2 पता है, D3D5, हाई स्पिन मतलब नहीं होगा. क्रोमियम H2 6+3, क्रोमियम +3 मतलब कितना हो गया, 3D3, नहीं होगा 3D3 में, राइट. टाइटेनियम H2 6, टाइटेनियम +3 क्या हो गया, 3D1. Yes, distortion is there because T2G is unsymmetrically filled. So yes, the ideal octahedral geometry will not observed in D only. So this is very easy. So you just need to know the basic of your John-Taylor distortion. All right. So the next question is from CSIR 2013 December. This is an interesting question and very easy question too. So देखेंगे, the compounds K2 barium copper NO2 6. This is A and this is the B compound. The difference is only this counter ions, right? Exhibit tetragonal elongation and tetragonal compression respectively. Means this is showing tetragonal elongation and this is showing tetragonal compression. So it is already given to you. The unpaired electron in A and B are found respectively. आपको बताना है किन ऑर्बिटल्स में अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो आएगा. क्या वो दोनों dx² - y² में आएंगे दोनों के केस में, या दोनों में dz² में, या A या B. ओके. तो देखो ये क्वेश्चन, ये एग्जाम्पल्स आपकी डायरेक्टली हुई की बुक में है, और इनमें से एक एग्जाम्पल हमने आपके प्रीवियस लेक्चर में किया भी था कि जब कोई भी काउंटर आयन नहीं है, कुछ ऐसा कॉम्प्लेक्स है, राइट, -4, ये हमने किया था. एंड यहाँ पे आपने क्या किया था कि दिस वाज अ काइंड ऑफ एक्सेप्शन बिकॉज हियर इट लुक्स लाइक इट इज अ D9 सिस्टम एंड देयर विल बी elongation, बट देयर इज अ distortion, but that distortion is dynamic distortion. That is why at your room temperature you will find no distortion. Whatever the physical spectroscopy or the instrument that you are using to find out the distortion, it will show the average structure of your elongation and compression. That is why, because there is an equilibrium between the elongation and compression for this particular complex. So yes, that was not a question. The question was this one: when you have changed this from K2 barium to your cesium-2 barium, then the type of your distortion is basically changing elongation to. तो समझ में आ रहा है ना, because इसको देख के तुम नहीं बोल सकते हो, ठीक है. तो समझ गए ये बात, आप देख के नहीं बोल सकते हो, ठीक है. तो उसने ऑलरेडी दिया है, इसमें elongation है, इसमें compression है, और पूछ रहा है कि अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन A और B में कहाँ जाएगा. तो देखो एक तो क्या करोगे कि elongation का क्रिस्टल फील्ड डायग्राम आपको आता है, compression का भी आपको करवाया है, आप उन दोनों में जाके, क्योंकि देखो दोनों में ये आपका क्या करेगा, +2 एंड +2 दोनों में ही क्या आएगा, -4 एंड योर कॉपर इसके ऊपर -4, तो दोनों ही सिस्टम क्या है, D9 सिस्टम है ना. तो आप दोनों में 9 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को फिल करके देखोगे और आपको पता चल जाएगा लास्ट अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन किस में आ रहा है, dz² में आ रहा है, dx² - y² में आ रहा है, ठीक है। बट एक और वे में आप उसको कर सकते हो, कैसे कर सकते हो, क्योंकि तुमको पता है कि अगर D9 आपका कॉन्फ़िगरेशन होता है तो नॉर्मली कैसे तुम देखते हो, ऐसे देखते हो ना, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8। नाउ द 9th इलेक्ट्रॉन या तो वो किस में होगा, dz² में होगा, या वो किस में होगा, dx² - y² में होगा, और इसी के ऊपर आपकी डिपेंड करते हैं कि कौन सी डिस्टॉर्शन होगी। अब हमने ये ऑलरेडी प्रीवियस लेक्चर्स में किया है कि अगर अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन dz² में चला गया है ना, अगर अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन dz² में चला गया तो z एक्सिस के अलोंग क्या हो जाएगी, बहुत ज़्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी हो जाएगी। तो लिगेंड्स और आपका जो वी कैन से dz के अलोंग जो ऑर्बिटल है जिसमें जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है मेटल के, उनके बीच में बहुत रिपल्शन हो जाएगी, जिसको कम करने के लिए ही, दैट मीन्स अपने आप को स्टेबलाइज करने के लिए, फ्रॉम दैट रिपल्शन ही आपका क्या हो जाता है, एलोंगेशन हो जाता है अलोंग द z एक्सिस। ऑलराइट, सो दैट मीन्स व्हाट, और जब ये इलोंगेशन होगा तो z के अलोंग अब क्या हो जाएगा, जब डिस्टॉर्शन हो जाएगी अब क्या हो जाएगा, आपकी जो रिपल्शन है वो कम हो जाएगी, इसीलिए dz² एनर्जी जो है आपका dz² का क्या आ जाएगा, नीचे आ जाएगा। तो अगर dz² का एनर्जी नीचे आ गया तो लास्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन अब किस में जाएगा, जब आप उसको दोबारा फिल करोगे आपके क्रिस्टल फील्ड में डिस्टॉर्शन के बाद, वो किस में जाएगा, dx² - y² में, इन केस ऑफ इलोंगेशन। समझ में आया या नहीं आया? देखो अगर जैसे एक अगर हम यहाँ पर करें तो क्या होता है इलोंगेशन में, क्या होता है, देखो आपके पास इलोंगेशन में z के अलोंग जो आपका एनर्जी है वो कम हो जाएगा, क्योंकि वहाँ पे रिपल्शन कम हो जाएगी। तो दैट मीन्स dyz dzx, देन यू हैव dxy, देन यू हैव dz² एंड देन यू हैव dx²। ऐसा ही होता था ना, हमने किया हुआ है, ये ऐसा कुछ होगा आपका। तो अब इसमें फिल करोगे 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, तो 9 इलेक्ट्रॉन कहाँ जाएगा, फॉर श्योर dx² - y² में। लेकिन मैं ये बोल रही हूँ कि इसको करने की भी जरूरत नहीं है, इफ यू नो द ओरिजिन ऑफ योर whatever is the distortion happening, your elongation or compression. Similar is with your compression. Compression कब होगा, when your electron density will be higher in your dx² - y². That is why to counter that thing, so that your repulsion will decrease, the energy of dx² - y² is going to get decreased and that of dz² is going to get increased. That is why the last electron is going to go into the dz². Getting the point? तो इसमें कंफ्यूजन नहीं करना है, मतलब कि so the answer will be B, dx² - y² for the elongation and dz² for the compression. This is the last question. The question is from CSIR 2014 June. So the question again is very simple. Identify the correct statement about this nickel complex and this copper hexaaqua complex. And as you can see from the options, this question is all about the distortion and whether the distortion is there or what kind of distortion is there. All right, so before going to the options, we can find out this thing. Nickel +2 hexaaqua high spin, this is going to be D8. We know that there will be no John Taylor distortion. That means the geometry will be ideal octahedral geometry. In case of copper +2 hexaaqua, this is going to be high spin and this is going to be 3D9. And yes, the John Taylor distortion will be there because EG is unsymmetrically filled. And in D9 system, for specifically this kind of hexaaqua complexes, you know that the elongation is going to happen for sure. So yes, you can find out the answer now. The first option is all nickel O, because this is your water. Nickel O and copper O bond length are equal. No, this is not possible, because in case of only nickel O bonds are equal but not in case of copper. Nickel oxygen equatorial and nickel oxygen equatorial bond are longer. No, this is incorrect. All nickel O bond length are equal. Yes, this statement is correct. Whereas copper O equatorial bonds are shorter than the copper O axial. Yes, this is correct, because this is the elongation, and in this case the copper oxygen of your water, the equatorial bonds will be shorter than that of your axial because it is elongation. So this is correct. So the last option is all copper O bonds are equal. No, they are not equal because the elongation is going to happen there. So these are the kind of questions that are being asked in the previous year on your John Taylor distortion, so which is pretty much simpler, and it is very important topic. So go through all the concepts. All right, so the portion where the questions are not being asked is the consequences. So there are high chance, high probability that question may come from that particular portion, that what are the impact, what is the impact of your Jahn-Teller distortion on the various properties of your complex, how it is altering the properties of the complex. So that is very interesting and very important. All right, so that's it for the today's lecture, and here your Jahn-Teller distortion is finished. But before finishing this particular lecture over here, let me ask you a question. And I think जब हम क्रिस्टल फील्ड थ्योरी कर रहे थे, तुम में से बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स के दिमाग में भी ये क्वेश्चन होगा. द क्वेश्चन इज, in crystal field theory हमने क्या किया, that you have a metal ion, you have ligands, and there is a electrostatic interaction, they are forming a bond, right? And somewhere we have also talked about the repulsion between the electrons of your metal and your ligands, because ligand is your, we already assumed that as a negative point charge, and metal is also having the negative charge, that is the electrons. So yes, there is a repulsion between those electrons and your ligand. So the question is how that repulsion is countering, how that repulsion is basically not dominating here, and how the bond formation is happening. All right, so this is the question, because how the bond can form, because there is a repulsion between your metal and that of your ligand. So how exactly the ligand is going to form? So yes, this is the question. This is a very important question of your crystal field theory and a very important limitation of your crystal field theory. Okay, so this answer of this question we are going to solve in the next lecture. All right, so till then, try to go through these concepts and try to solve the questions as you can, as many as you can solve. All right, so thank you so much for listening.